you save if your home used 70 to 90% less energy for heating and cooling. Can you imagine that? Well, I'm sure you're breaking out the calculator right now to add that up, but here to fill you in a little bit more and help you save money with a more eco-friendly and comfortable home is Joe Sarfaty. He is the Vice President of Celebration Contracting. Welcome here to CT Style, Joe.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Let's start off by talking about Passive House. What is that?
Passive house is an energy design building standard. It's really what a passive house is. It's a phenomenally energy efficient home. It's well insulated, it's healthy, it has tremendous indoor air quality, and really green building is quality building.
How about net zero energy?
Net zero is really what net zero means is a home that produces as much energy as it uses over the course of a year. So a net zero energy house is not a home that uses no energy. You know, people that live in net zero energy homes still turn on the lights and watch TV. And
so you're saving as much as you're using. That's the
you're producing as much as you're using.
Oh, producing.
Yeah,
more.
exactly. So with a net zero energy house, you would have a source of renewable energy like solar panels.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about home heating history. We have a little picture here which you can explain.
Yes, absolutely.
It's coming up right there. It is.
Terrific. So I love this slide because I love the characterization of it. But what you can see is, you know, way back, you know, we just heated our homes. Humans heated their homes just by burning a fire, you know, in a fireplace, and then it got all very complicated with, you know, with many energy-intensive, you know, systems and, you know, gas and oil burners. And what you really get to now through a better understanding of building science in the industry is you can see the guy on the right here is perfectly happy in his house. The sun is heating, you know, the building through a properly oriented window. You can see that there's much less going on. So it's actually a lot simpler.
And I think this is important, especially for a lot of older homes and remodeling projects, because oftentimes there's a lot of draft through older homes. And it's kind of cool because you actually live in a home. It was built in 1891, was it? Or?
Yeah, my home was actually built in 1890.
Oh,
yep.
I'm sorry, I was 1 year off there, Joe.
Yeah.
So 1890, and actually you have made your home a passive house.
My home is actually not a certified passive house, but I did renovate it to be very energy efficient. So it was a great process to go through for myself as well as with our clients.
And one of the cool things that you brought along today is a thermos. And you're going to break it down for us. It's pretty simple how a thermos can kind of relate to your home.
So I love the analogy of the thermos, especially when talking about just sort of the simplicity of building science, because if we took you know, some brand new piping hot coffee and poured it into this thermos, and then set it down and came back hours later, what would we have?
Piping hot coffee?
We would have piping hot coffee. Yes. And the reason being is because the thermos is so well insulated, it doesn't leak out the energy and heat that we put into it. And it's just the same way with energy efficient building. And that's why it's a very simple, but I think very powerful example or analogy of how it works, because when you put you know, when you build a home that's really well insulated and done to that standard, all of the money and energy that you're truly spending to heat your home is actually protected and saved and really kept in the home.
Which is a little bit different from, say, something like a CT Style mug. As much as we love them, you know, it's after 15 minutes, it's kind of lukewarm and the coffee tastes gross. So we want to keep our house like a thermos, and we have some photos here. I kind of want you to walk us through the process here of some of the things that you can do in a home to make it more energy efficient and more comfortable and healthy also.
Absolutely.
So touch on some of those points.
So what we're seeing right now is the picture of an attic from the passive home that we built in Guilford. The difference between a home and a thermos is there's no fresh air in a thermos. And in an energy efficient home, there is tons of fresh air. In fact, indoor air quality is one of the most premier advantages of building an energy efficient home. What you can see there is actually the unit that circulates the fresh air throughout the home. So in your kitchen, you know, your living room, bedrooms, everywhere that you're spending time, you're going to be getting beautiful, clean, fresh air free of that's filtered. So there's no, you know, pollutants, allergens, things that you don't want to be breathing in your home.
Sure. And we're going to explain something now that's a little above my pay grade: geothermal heating systems.
Yes. So with a net zero energy house, you're using solar panels to produce electricity. And a geothermal heating system is a tremendously efficient heating system, but it actually works on electricity.
Okay.
So if you're producing electricity at your home and using electricity to heat your house, it's a perfect match to actually make the energy that you're using. And that's why it's so efficient. And that's how you actually close the gap from being a very low energy home to actually zero.
And if we can go back to the previous picture very quickly, I just want to touch on one point about the insulation. You may remember it looks a little bit different from traditional insulation, the pink stuff
Yes,
that you would buy at a store. What's going on with this?
What we're seeing in this photograph is actually sprayed foam insulation, and it has two really advantageous properties. One is that it's very good at air sealing. So just like our thermos, that's creating our thermos in the attic of the house. So we're not losing air, we're not transferring temperature to the outside, we're protecting that inside the house. And the other thing is it's got a tremendous R value per inch, so it gives you a great amount of insulation.
Okay, and again, this is for new homes or homes that are being rebuilt. It doesn't matter about the size or the location. You have a solution for almost everybody, right?
This is a terrific opportunity for a retrofit. If somebody has a home that is very energy inefficient or it's leaky and drafty,
okay.
Insulating the attic with sprayed foam is a great way to. It's like stepping outside in a cold winter and putting on a really nice winter hat for your home.
We should have had that in the style segment just before this. Now, how about energy efficient windows? This is very important. Recently, we were discussing this on the show about how drafts can really affect your bills.
Yes. Windows are so important when building a really high quality energy efficient home because they're so common, like you said, a place for leaks and drafts. And so that's an area that we pay particular attention to. And what we're seeing in this photograph is actually these windows are triple pane glass. Beyond what the double pane glass that you commonly see.
Yeah.
The price point was fantastic on them. They are completely air sealed, and when you sit next to that window and it's blowing like crazy winter cold wind, you're as warm as can be.
You don't feel anything.
You don't feel anything.
All right, and even in the summertime, I'm sure with the air conditioning, it feels nice and cool in there. Keep some of that cool air in there.
Well, I've been emphasizing sort of the heating end of it because everybody's just coming out of the winter time and everything like that, but it's the exact same thing in the summertime. When you use your air conditioning, it keeps it a perfect, consistent temperature.
All right, Joe, thanks so much for sharing so much great information. Of course, you can learn a little bit more info and just call Joe, I guess. Call 203-533-9689 or head on over to celebrationcontracting.com.